Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I wanted to do another commit log episode, and you know it's a Sunday, but I'm busy as usual. So we're gonna be doing this on the road, and right now I'm going to field work in San Ramon to pick up a growler for like today's dinner party. I'll continue this series when I get up there. I made it to the city center Bishop Ranch. Field work is over there. Field work. I picked up my growler. It's pretty cheap, like $8 for the bottle and like 20 bucks for the beer, so it's not bad. This place is pretty sweet. It's one of my favorite places near where I am. I live in Dublin, and this is in San Ramon. It's like 10 minutes away, but it's a pretty sweet space. Like there's like a middle area where kids could play. I'll like show you guys a little bit of it here. It's a cool area. So today's first commit is about what I've been working on. So one thing that you need to know about me is that ever since I was little, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to, you know, build a product of my own, be able to like kind of sell it and run my own business. And that's kind of why I decided to be like an economics major in college, because you know I figured that's kind of what they teach you, to run like a business and things like that. Yeah, I always had this dream, and for a long time I've kind of given up on that hope, or more like I put it in the backlog, right? I didn't really see a good opportunity for me to like pursue something, but recently I, you know, thought of something that was kind of interesting, and I feel like it has some legs. So I've been working on that. It's basically an e-commerce site. And one thing to note about this project is that, you know, this is not the first time I've tried some form of e-commerce website or some thing that could generate, you know, some kind of business opportunity. I've you know, if you see my channel before, I think I talked about stories where I've, you know, did like a webcomic series where I try to, you know, sell like some of my webcomic stuff. And I also had a t-shirt business for a little bit where I actually had a heat press and I like printed t-shirts for people. I made a few $100 off of that. Probably lost most of my money on that business, but I've always tried these things, including, you know, app development and shipping like apps to the app store. But for me, I've always had like technical issues when I was trying to do these businesses, and I always needed help. But this is the first time where I felt like I'm starting this like side project and I don't need any help at all. Like I could have help, and it would be nice to get the work done faster, but technically I could do every single thing, every aspect of this project on my own, whether that be designing Photoshop or programming a website, you know, all these kind of like complex things that goes to building like an e-commerce website. I could do everything on my own. But yeah, that's something that I've been really happy about. I'm not really ready to share the project with you guys just yet, but when I get there, I hope you guys could check it out and, you know, just give me some feedback when the site's live and ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna drive back and then we'll continue this kind of commit log later today. All right, made it home. Yeah, my kid's super messy. He just non-stop, always making a mess in the backyard, but you know, it's turf, so I'll probably clean this up. But yeah, I thought I would sit down a little bit, and today's commit number 2 is about what I've been reading, and it's kind of a continuation from the last commit log. I do this thing where every now and then I, you know, follow someone or I read something from someone, and I like to kind of, you know, go through and read some of the other articles that like this person posted, or some of the other thoughts that this like person has. And in this case, because I was reading about hooks, React hooks, I read some more articles that Dan Abramoff wrote, and in particular 2 articles that I found really interesting was one of them was Forever a Junior Developer, and another one is things that don't know as of 2018. Yeah, these are kind of older articles, but the whole idea in at least that first article about being like a junior developer forever, obviously, you know, Dan is not a junior developer. He's one of the main contributors of React. He's also he also wrote Redux, so he knows what he's doing, at least when it comes to like these frameworks and like front-end development. But like the whole concept of the article was to essentially say that you should be able to have this mindset of a junior developer where you're constantly learning new things and you can never be like a true expert in every single thing that when it comes to engineering. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting read. I highly recommend you guys check that out. And the other article is kind of a follow-up where he kind of goes and lists a bunch of things that he should probably know he should probably know. My kid's over there trying to get my attention. But basically he's trying to get he's basically saying that there's a bunch of things that he should know as of 2018, or people think that he knows, but he lists a bunch of things that I actually found surprising that he didn't know, or even things that I personally knew like he didn't know, which kind of gives you like a new light on things, right? And it makes people feel more human, and all these like developers that you look up to, like all these people, they're all just like, you know, trying to learn as much as they can as well. They're just human and just like you, and they spent the time to learn a specific thing carefully. So yeah, it's very encouraging. But yeah, I highly recommend you guys to check those articles out. I'll link them in the description below. But yeah, what are some interesting articles that you guys read in this kind of space, in the tech space? I would love to, you know, brush up on some new articles. So it's late at night. I had a good dinner with some friends. My baby is right here. My number 2. So the third commit for this commit log is, what is a thing that I've purchased that's like under $100 that I really enjoyed? So recently I kind of like redid my setup a little bit, where I brought my upstairs computer, like my 3rd floor computer, like desk, down. It's a little messy here, but essentially I brought that computer desk and my computer down here to the 1st floor, because I just realized that the 3rd floor gets really hot, and because for just whatever reasons I just never use the 3rd floor, and it kind of sucks because I love using the PC for video games, or you know, making edits on Photoshop or things like that in that nature, but I just never ended up using my computer. So I thought I would bring my PC down here to the 1st floor, and definitely I've been ending up using it a lot more, and I'm therefore a lot more productive and things like that. But anyways, so the number 1 purchase for me has been this keyboard right here. This keyboard. So this is a Logitech keyboard, and I'll put the link to the descriptions below, but essentially it allows me to switch very quickly between 3 Bluetooth devices. And you know, I have my MacBook here, and I have another MacBook, so I have 2 MacBooks, one personal, one for work, and I have this, and this essentially is hooked up to my PC right now. But I also have this KVM right here. It essentially lets me switch his input devices with a click of a button, like so. And I also have one for audio, and I had this audio one for a while, but like I really like this because I'm able to switch between inputs very quickly. And I realized that because I develop on a Mac, and you know, I play games on a PC, it's kind of important for me to switch back and forth. So I'll put a link in the descriptions on those switch, like multi-client keyboard and KVM essentially, because I think if you're like me and you have multiple devices, it's definitely very, very useful. So back out here in my backyard, the 4th commit for this video is what have I been watching lately? And it's another Netflix show. You know, because Netflix has this like download feature where you could download videos for on the go for offline mode, I end up, you know, watching a lot of videos on the train. And the one video series I've been watching is called Vagabond, and it's another Korean show. I don't know what it is about Korean dramas, but they're so addicting. So I end up watching them. And Vagabond is this like, the premise is there's a stuntman, his nephew gets killed in a plane crash, and I'm not really giving away too much because that's like the premise of the show. And he's trying to figure out like who, he's trying to figure out like the bad people who kind of took the plane down essentially. And yeah, it's a really good show. And one thing about the show that I really like is that I don't know who the bad guys are until like when they're revealed that they're bad. Like they do a very good job of kind of like making you guess at who is potentially the bad, like villains essentially. That's a show that I've been watching. I highly recommended it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. I love doing these videos because they're very casual, and you know, it's like I feel like I'm sharing a bit of myself with everyone that's watching. And so yeah, anyways, I hope you guys just enjoyed this video. As you can see, I've definitely had some amount of alcohol in my system. I finished that entire growler. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.